what is that, 8 or 10 to 2. And then this just, I think it was late last weekend, and I don't even know if we had announced the dates yet for spring cleanup, but there will not be a spring cleanup this year. So well, we hope there still will be a fall cleanup, but no spring cleanup for 2020. That's really all I had. I'll just address, I mean, Clark, you brought it up, and I think I answered it already. We have had discussions, you know, as restrictions get placed on, you know, businesses and the like. We've already taken the opportunity to get downtown on Central to do a few repairs, and that will continue. Just because of less traffic vehicle traffic downtown, it gives us an opportunity to maybe hit that stuff a little bit harder than we would have been able to. Also, the campground, again, I'll restate that. Although it doesn't open till May 1st, there's been enough days where it allowed us to get down in there and get some of that stuff done. And I know all the guys are out there now and concentrating on that stuff, so we'll see how much we can get. That's really all I had. I mean, if you guys have any...
Hey, Jason, this is Clark. Jason?
Yep.
Could you maybe make a comment about the library? Because I know there was some concern amongst the library that we were actually in front of the governor's request on closing libraries, but that, as I understand it, the public library is still call-in, curbside, checkout situation. Is that correct?
Yep, you just gave a great recap. This is Jason, I said.
Okay.
I got to remember to say my name. Yes, we were, I think the majority of state libraries were closed, and it really all started around that March 17th date. I think that's when it went from the 50 down to the 10 as far as gatherings. So I think most, ours for sure, that was the day that we locked the doors to the public and started doing the curbside pick up and drop off, and it's still being staffed. So phone calls, they're taking phone calls. There's still material available online. You can still do e-books and those types of things. So ever since that day, so we were a little bit ahead of it, along with many other libraries. But with the governor's statement yesterday, that was the state's official declaration that libraries were to close to the public. So, yeah. So as we have been as we have been for almost a month now, it continues at our library. So.
Does that answer your question, Clark?
Yeah, I just wanted, yep. Thank you.
Jason, I've got...
Ken Nelson would like to remind people that we do have a drop box in the entryway there of City Hall, so if you want to pay your water bill, I know a lot of people do, there is a drop box there, and you can get in to use it.
Thank you, Ken.
Mayor, I do have one thing for moving forward. This is Mike Murphy, gentlemen. While I have you all on the line, moving forward with meetings in this format, we could have the necessity for a closed session. If a closed session in the future happens, likely what will happen is we will adjourn the meeting on this conference call-in number and facilitate a new number to each of you to call back in at that time. I just want to caution you now and let you know if that happens, obviously you don't want to be sitting on your kitchen table with your wife or other family members listening to the closed session. So I'm just cautioning you now so we can think about that moving forward.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
This is Jason. I'll just add another thing. Dick mentioned it and alluded to it at the beginning of the meeting, but you know, we pay attention to what Governor Reynolds, her news conferences every day, just to see what's the new thing we need to address. So we pay attention to that. But, you know, people can misspeak, and then it gets reported. I mean, so we, moving forward, you know, I wait until these proclamations are in print, and anybody can go look for them and find them. So, you know, some of the video, or the conference, her video conferences she does every day, and then as they get reported in the paper or on radio, they tend to maybe leave out some of the better explanations of why, and a better breakdown of what was stated. So I encourage everybody to, to go seek those things out. It explains, you know, we're constantly getting, for almost 3 weeks now, questions on why is this closed and this isn't. You know, especially a lot of it has been around the golf course. Why is the golf course still open? Well, if you look at what she did yesterday, well, let me back up. When it went down to the gathering of 10 and we closed doors, at that time, the clubhouse closed their doors. That didn't mean the golf course closed. It just meant, you know, if you wanted to get in there and you wanted to pay for a round of golf, you needed to either knock on the door or call Brian ahead of time and make sure somebody was there. What they did yesterday was the official state announcement of golf course clubhouses. Okay, so much like the library, we closed those doors weeks before it was officially announced. So with the announcement yesterday, it also gives a better explanation. If you seek out that proclamation, it states, it does not state that the golf course has to close. It's the clubhouse is closed to the public, but only open enough to run the golf course. So all the questions on why golf course is open, that proclamation has not come down yet that they have to close. So, and if anybody has questions, I mean, you can seek it out. Anybody has questions, you know, they can call, and we can try to better explain why things are what they are. But like the mayor mentioned, you know, we try to follow what comes out of the governor's office, the Iowa Department of Public Health, and react based off of those things. So,
Thank you, Jason. Any other questions on it? Jason, I'd like to, if you would, give us an update a little bit on where we're at on the Cleveland Park program.
it's in, this is Jason, design right now.
Okay, good.
I have not seen any preliminary design of it, but it's
in the process.
Leathers is putting together a design.
Okay, thank you. And the other one is the YMCA. Can you give us any progress on that?
YMCA should be, all of this mess has kind of helped with that project too. It's allowed contractors to get into areas of that interior building that may not have been scheduled to start until summer sometime. With the lack of people using the YMCA and the facilities, because they're also closed down. It's allowed some of those things to move forward ahead of time. It's on schedule, it's still on schedule. I haven't been by there today, but they should be. I know they're getting ready to do the exterior. They've got, I don't want to say a whole lot done inside, but they've been able to get some of those upper level restrooms built. They're working on the elevator So they're getting a lot of that stuff done, but it's moving forward.
Thank you for update report. Okay, do you have anything else, Jason?
No, I don't.
All right. Moving on to our finance director, Mr. Jacob.
Okay, I do have a few things today. I know at the last meeting, it had come up, I think, Ken, you had had the question on late penalties for credit card payments, because those can be delayed by a little bit. And I did want to let you know, on the credit card payments, we do monitor those, and so if it does end up that it's a few days late because of the processing time and stuff, we do review those and then take the penalties off. And then along with that, with the payments, we do have the Dropbox, like Ken mentioned, out front. The community's been really receptive of the steps that we've taken for this. And I think a lot of that's because we have a lot of good options for people to pay. And so I just encourage the community to keep taking advantage of those options. I did want to let you know we are receiving 2 more FEMA flood payments from last year for around $60,000. Those are hopefully going into the bank today. This week, hopefully. And then with the COVID response, there is the opportunity for potentially recouping some money through FEMA for that. I don't think we've had a lot of increased costs yet, but depending on how long this goes on, there are some potentials there for some refunding. I know we've had some costs related to hand sanitizer, wipes, and some of that, and I know we can get some of that refunded potentially from them. The other thing I wanted to mention to you was on revenue impact from the COVID-19 pandemic. I did get a letter from the DOT talking about road use tax funds, and they said to expect 25% or greater reduction in those coming out, probably not with the April payment, but with the May payment, with their payments monthly for that. And so I just wanted to give the council a heads up on that, there will be some revenue impact, some financial impact to the city from this pandemic. Not so much that we've seen on the expense side now, but I know there'll be some on the revenue side from that road use tax, also probably from some lost funds, and then we'll just have to see how long it drags out here.
Anything else?
Sounds like Clark's doing his dishes. No, Clark's sitting right here. I don't know who's doing the damn.
That's your mayor. I
Mayor's doing the dishes.
do want to share one thing that Jacob just brought up, and that is the road use tax. And it goes back, as you know, I've preached on it for several times, has to do with the census. And please, and for you people that are watching over television, please, I know that a lot of us have received our census to send in, and you can do it by email. It's the quickest way to do it. But please follow through on that and send that in, because it's very, very important to this city, because it goes by, the road use tax as an example, goes by the amount of people that is involved in the census of the city. So, and Jacob just brought up something here. If our next payment's looking at 25%, you send backwards, anything we can do in this period or any time, just be sure you get your census signed and I appreciate it. Okay, is there anything else, Jacob?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. Does any council members have anything else to bring up at this time? If not, I just want to close with a few things. One, as I mentioned on the onset, you know, our good Lord has many ways of working. And with the change that was made within the last 30 days, in my opinion, he certainly has got the attention of everybody. And there's two things that we're faced with right now. And of course, the first one is the seriousness of this outbreak of coronavirus. And we've got to get our arms around that and get it done. And the second thing is, it's coming after that, is our economic development program, or the economy of this country. And so I really encourage you. First of all, I want to thank everybody here in Lamars, business people, small businesses, people that are following the rules. We really appreciate what you're doing. It's making a difference. I know it's become slow. I know it's totally upset everybody's program, but I really encourage you to keep doing what you're doing because the sooner we can get out of this, the better off we're going to be on those other two topics. And I guess the best thing I can do is, or suggest and encourage people to do, is pray to the good Lord that we can get this done as soon as we can. Thank you. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Ken Nelson, so moved. I'll second.
Okay, so I have Ken Nelson with the motion, and who's our second?
Steve Wick.
Okay, motion been made and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion adjourned.